Hello, my name is Catherine Maestre, and today I will be discussing the history of dolls and just how old they truly are. A doll is defined as a child's toy, puppet, marionette, etc., made to resemble a human being. Children today have dolls as playthings and are generally made of plastic, although we find some that are made of porcelain. There is no connection to religion or customs with the dolls today. They are meant to be played with or to sit on a shelf and collect dust. But when did this fascination with dolls originate, and what was their true purpose before? Dolls have been a part of mankind since prehistoric times, some used for religious figures, others as playthings. They were made from clay, fur, wood, stone, bone, ivory, leather, or wax. Archaeologists would say that dolls were one of the oldest known toys. Many dolls were found in Egypt, Greece, Rome, Africa, and Japan. Wooden paddle dolls were found in tombs dated back as early as 2000 BCE. Dolls with movable limbs and clothing date as far back as 200 BCE. Many of the dolls found were from children's graves. That was only if the young girl died before marriage. In Rome, the dolls were mostly made of clay, cloth, bone, ivory, and precious idols of gold and silver. The young girls would dress their dolls in the latest fashions, which still ring true today. When the young girls grew up and got married, they would dedicate their dolls to goddesses such as Diana, the Virgin Huntress. The dolls were most likely painted to look lifelike, but with time their faces faded. In Rome, they also had rag dolls that dated back to 300 BC. In Greece, it is believed in the Golden Era, dolls developed out of a figure that had previously been an idol or a fertility symbol. When these figures were no longer needed for worship, they would be given to children. The name for doll in ancient Greece was kore, which meant little girl. Many of the dolls were for religious significance. Such references exist from the days of Homer. In time, the religious aspect disappeared. In Egypt, dolls were called shabti if they were to be buried with the dead. Some were in the form of a mummy for the wealthy. The other doll is the paddle doll. They look like a ping pong paddle. There are many interpretations as to the significance. Some believe they represented fertility, while others think it represents a certain group of people. The women of the musical performers of the goddess Hathor. In Africa, dolls were used to teach, entertain, and were manipulated for ritual purposes. The size and costumes varied due to region. Many of these dolls were handed down from mother to daughter. While in Japan, the traditional dolls date back to the Dogu figures, 8000 to 200 BCE. These dolls were mainly used for protection and religious purposes. All dolls from the ancient world were used for mostly the same purposes, even though these places were all over the world. We see even through all the differences that some customs and toys are passed through different cultures and time periods. Today we see a doll as merely a plaything or collectible. The biggest selling doll today is Barbie. She is superficial and has no real purpose behind her besides profit. What was once a great tradition has turned into nothing more than mass production.